It begins in a place you've never visited, but somehow already know. A room made of dusk and dust, filled with the smell of old paper and sea air. The walls stretch upward without end, and though there is no ceiling, you feel enclosed in the gentlest way, held, not trapped. The air hums with silence, not the absence of sound, but the presence of everything waiting to be spoken. You are standing in the center, though you don't remember arriving. There is no door behind you. No footsteps to retrace. Only the now. Only the hush. In front of you is a mirror. It's tall, taller than it should be, and its frame is carved from something pale and iridescent, like driftwood dreamed of by the ocean. Its surface doesn't reflect the room. It doesn't reflect you. It shimmers like memory, unclear, but undeniably familiar. You approach slowly. The floor is soft beneath your feet, like moss soaked in moonlight. Each step brings a low, almost imperceptible chime, as though the air itself is recognizing your movement. When you reach the mirror, you still see nothing. No face. No walls. No past. But as you place your hand against the glass, a ripple moves outward, soft, slow, like the surface of a forgotten lake. And then the mirror begins to shift. Not to show you yourself, but to remember you. It shows your name, not written in letters, but in sensations. The feeling of your favorite season settling on your skin, the echo of a laugh you thought you'd lost, the color of a dream that stayed with you long after waking. It remembers without judgment. Without expectation. It holds each version of you with the same tenderness. You don't need to understand it. You simply let yourself be seen. And then, the glass opens, not like a door, but like a breath. Inviting you in. You step through the opening, expecting cold or weight or the static crackle of crossing boundaries. But there is none of that. Only warmth. Only quiet. Only the soft sensation of being welcomed into something that has been waiting just for you. On the other side, the world is dim but not dark. Light pools gently in the corners, like moonlight collecting in the folds of a forgotten cloth. The air is thick with the scent of lavender and rain-soaked stone. You are in a hallway now. Long, curving, endless. The walls are lined with mirrors, but none reflect. Each one seems to be in the middle of remembering something, their surfaces shifting with images that dissolve before you can name them. You begin to walk. The hallway bends like time dreaming of itself. There are no sharp turns, no angles. Just the slow, spiraling rhythm of discovery. As you pass each mirror, you feel a hum, low and steady, like a heartbeat in stone. Some mirrors flicker with childhood shadows. Others pulse with futures that never came. None of them demand your attention. They simply offer themselves, and continue remembering. Eventually, you reach a doorway without a door. It opens into a room filled with water. Not deep, only ankle high, but impossibly still. It reflects a sky that cannot be the one above, because this sky is made of memory. Stars pulse like slow thoughts, and clouds drift with the weight of emotion. You step in, and the water accepts you. Not a splash, not a ripple. Just you, sinking slightly into stillness. In the center of the room floats a single object, a key. It hovers just above the water's surface, unmoving. Its metal is tarnished, not with rust, but with use. It has been held before. It has been carried. It has been waited for. And it is yours. You reach out and take it. The moment your fingers close around the key, the mirrors in the hallway behind you pulse once with light. And then still. You do not need to be told what to do next. You turn toward the far side of the room, where a staircase rises from the water like a memory surfacing. The steps are smooth and worn, shaped not by tools but by time. You begin to climb. The key is warm in your hand. And the mirror behind you, the one that remembered your name, remains open, watching, quiet, eternal. Each step you take echoes softly, not outward, but inward, like your bones are listening. The staircase spirals upward, but never steeply. It feels like walking through thought itself, one layer at a time, each turn brushing gently against a memory you almost recall. The walls around you shift as you rise. First, they are smooth stone. Then weathered wood, like the interior of an old ship. Then silk, breathing in and out with each step. There is no fear. Only a sense that you are being prepared. That the house, if it is a house, is introducing itself slowly, respectfully, like a friend who knows you've just woken from a very long sleep. You reach the landing. It opens into a vast room filled with wind. Not rushing, not howling, just the soft, circling kind that plays with loose pages and lifts the hem of your sleeve. The air carries the scent of herbs and dust, like an old apothecary. Shelves line the walls, but instead of books, they hold bottles. Each one is unique. Some glowing, some dark, some swirling with shapes that shift when not watched directly. You walk slowly between them, and as you pass, some of the bottles whisper. Not words. Not quite. Just feelings, trust, let go, this was never your fault, rest now. You feel these messages settle into your chest like warm stones in cool hands. Near the center of the room stands a pedestal. Upon it, a mirror. Smaller than the first, round and framed in ivy frozen mid-growth. This mirror shows no light. No reflection. But it pulls at something inside you, gently, insistently, like a question you forgot to ask. You lift it from the pedestal. It remains dark. But you feel the key in your pocket stir. You hold the mirror in one hand, the key in the other. They do not connect. They remember each other. And in that moment, the wind pauses. Just for a breath. And then the room begins to open, not physically, but atmospherically. The walls seem to lean back, the ceiling rises. You are no longer standing in a room but within a memory of a space, something between a dream and a place you once knew. You hear a sound behind you. Soft footsteps. But when you turn, there is no one there. Only another mirror. And in it, a door. The door in the mirror is old, with a frame carved from something dark and knotted, like tree roots grown into purpose. A faint glow traces the grain of the wood, pulsing slowly, as if it, too, is breathing. The key in your hand warms, the metal now the temperature of held hands and sunlight remembered. You step closer, not knowing if the door will appear behind the mirror, or if you will need to step through the glass again. But as your fingers brush its surface, the mirror softens, gives way like silk in water, and once more, the boundary dissolves. You pass through. On the other side, the world is quiet. Not empty. Not hollow. Just quiet in the way a forest is quiet when it trusts you. You stand in a long corridor made of stone and shadow. Light pools gently at irregular intervals, some from hanging lanterns filled with fireflies, others from cracks in the ceiling where stars peer through. Each patch of light feels deliberate, as if someone placed it there long ago to guide a future version of you. The key leads you forward, not pulling, but inviting. The corridor begins to change as you walk. The stones beneath your feet soften into earth. The walls fall away, replaced by tall grass and open sky. You're no longer indoors, but you're not quite outdoors either. The world around you seems painted with the palette of dreams, sky the color of old denim, grass whispering in shades of silver green, air humming with invisible lullabies. Ahead, you see a structure. Not quite a house. Not quite a temple. Something in between. Its walls are made of mirrors, but each one is clouded, like breath on glass. You see shapes move behind them, but they do not form. You feel no fear, only the sense that you are not alone, and never were. You reach the entrance. There is no door. Only a low threshold, carved with symbols you somehow understand. To be seen is to be softened. You step inside. It is darker here, but not oppressive. The light is quieter, more thoughtful. You walk through the mirrored halls, and now the shapes become clearer, not figures, but feelings. Moments. Flashes of you, not reflected, but remembered, the time you stood still in a storm and felt alive, the time you wept without knowing why, the time you forgave someone who never asked. The mirrors are not showing what was. They are showing what mattered. You stop at one mirror that trembles faintly. In it, a version of you looks back. Not exactly you now, not you then, but a you that remembers being forgotten. Their eyes meet yours, and neither of you looks away. You raise the key. The mirror responds, not by unlocking, but by softening. And your name, unspoken, fills the space between you like a song no longer lost. The moment stretches, your reflection holding your gaze not as glass, but as memory incarnate. You feel it, that gentle collapse of time, where past, present, and possibility fold into one breathless hush. And in that hush, the mirror breathes. The glass warps, not in fear, but in surrender. It begins to ripple like water disturbed by a whisper. You don't step forward. You are drawn. The mirror curves open like a curtain of light, and you pass through not with motion, but with intention. Inside, the space is vast and hushed. No walls. No ceiling. Just an open night where the stars hang close, low enough to brush your shoulders like soft snowflakes. The floor is a slow-moving sea, shallow and warm, mirroring the constellations above. As you walk, each step creates a ripple that echoes upward into the sky, like the universe is responding to you in kind. Ahead stands a figure. Not human. Not unhuman. A silhouette shaped from the same light as the stars. It has no face, no voice, yet its presence is unmistakable. It knows you. Not just your name, but every iteration of you. Every forgotten wish. Every moment you doubted, every time you dared anyway. It raises its hand and opens its palm. Inside, another mirror. Small. Round. Like the first. But in this one, you see clearly. Yourself, yes, but not how the world sees you. You see the version of you who has endured, who is softened instead of hardened, who has held kindness in clenched fists, who has looked into the quiet and stayed. The light being holds the mirror out. You take it. As soon as it touches your hand, the sea beneath your feet stills. The stars draw closer. And one by one, they begin to descend, slow as feathers, quiet as breath. They land gently around you, not heavy, not hot. Each one a memory you thought had vanished, the sound of laughter through tears, the scent of a place you once belonged to, the rhythm of your breath when you finally forgave yourself. You kneel, placing the new mirror beside the one still warm in your pocket. They do not merge. They glow together. Balanced. Seen. And when you look back up, the figure is gone. But not absent. You feel it now in the weight of your steps, in the stillness of your breath. You rise. And the stars, no longer distant, begin to form a path. The stars underfoot pulse gently, forming a trail that shimmers not with brightness, but with meaning. You step onto them, and each one accepts your weight like an old friend welcoming you home. The path doesn't lead upward or downward, it weaves through a space that defies direction, suspended between memory and dream. As you walk, the mirrors begin to appear again. Not on walls this time, but floating beside the path, turning slowly, silently. Some show brief images, a hand brushing a child's cheek, a quiet moment spent watching clouds, a goodbye that was never spoken aloud. Others display only color and light, feelings made visible. None call for you to stop. None demand to be understood. They simply witness. The air is warmer here. It hums softly, as if it's filled with voices that are not speaking, only listening. The silence feels holy. Ahead, the path widens into a circle. At the center floats a mirror larger than all the rest, framed in braided vines and soft flame. It turns slowly in the air, revealing both sides as if neither is more real than the other. One side shows a landscape of mountains beneath a red sky. The other shows your face, not as it is, but as you feel when you are most true. Unburdened. Whole. You step into the circle. The mirror slows its turning, as though sensing your presence. You raise your hand, unsure of what will happen, but certain you must touch it. When your fingers meet the glass, it does not ripple. It opens. Inside is not a place, but a sensation. You are suddenly surrounded by warmth, as if wrapped in a memory of being held. You see nothing. You hear nothing. But you feel everything. Moments you didn't know mattered bloom inside you. The quiet resilience you showed on ordinary days. The soft way you loved something even when it couldn't stay. The grace you offered when no one was watching. You float in this space of awareness, not needing to move. You are both still and infinite. Then, gently, the mirror places you back. You're standing once more in the circle of stars. The large mirror now stands still, its flame frame flickering softly. You turn, and a new path has formed. This one narrower, leading toward a faint glow in the distance. The two small mirrors you carry hum in your hands. You sense they are becoming part of you. Not objects to hold, but truths to carry. You step forward. And the stars rearrange themselves to light the way. The new path is quieter than before, not silent, but filled with a kind of hush that comes after being deeply understood. The air feels thicker now, not with weight, but with intimacy, as if the space itself leans in to walk beside you. The ground beneath your feet shifts from starlight to soft earth once more, warm and familiar, with a scent like distant rain and pine. On either side, the mirrors continue to appear, though now they rest gently in the air like fireflies caught mid-thought. They seem softer, more transparent, showing images that blur before becoming clear. Moments of hesitation, tiny triumphs, the quiet grief of growing. One floats close and pauses beside your shoulder. You glance at it, and for just a moment, you see yourself at a window, watching the sky change and realizing, without fear, that you've changed too. You nod to the mirror. It nods back, or perhaps it simply drifts away in acknowledgement. The path opens into a clearing. This place feels older than time. The ground is etched with spirals and shapes you somehow know are sacred. A single tree stands at the center, tall, silver-barked, its branches bare but gleaming. Hanging from its limbs are dozens of small mirrors, each catching the low ambient glow and sending it scattering in shifting patterns across the clearing. You approach the tree slowly. At its base is a pool of still water, so clear it might be sky. The surface doesn't reflect the tree or the stars. It reflects you, not as you look, but as you are when no one is watching. The you that rests beneath every mask, every name. The tree hums as you step closer. Not in sound, but in vibration. You feel it in your ribs, in your breath, in the space just behind your eyes. It welcomes you without question. You kneel beside the water. The two small mirrors you've been carrying slide from your hands on their own and gently lower into the pool. They don't sink. They dissolve, turning into light that spreads outward in quiet ripples, illuminating the water with shifting images, rooms you've left behind, people who shaped you, choices that were soft and silent but still changed everything. The tree bends slightly, one branch lowering as if to offer something. Hanging from it is a mirror unlike the others. It's simple, round, smooth, no frame. You reach for it. It does not show your face. It shows your name. And this time, you understand it. Not as a word, but as a feeling. You hold the mirror gently, as if it were a heartbeat made visible. The name it shows is not written in language. It is woven from textures, glances, seasons, the way your shoulders feel after a deep sigh. It is you, but also everyone you have been, every version shaped by time and tenderness. The mirror feels warm in your palm, not from heat, but from presence. The tree above you exhales, not in wind, but in silence. The leaves it never bore shimmer faintly into existence, just for a moment, then fade again. You get the feeling the tree has seen many pass through this place, and will see many more. But for now, it bends only toward you, as if in quiet gratitude. You step back from the pool, and the light within it settles. The spirals carved in the earth seem to shimmer beneath your feet. When you glance down, you notice they've changed. They now form a path leading away from the clearing, glowing softly like a trail of breath. You follow. This path is different. Narrower, yes, but also more intimate. The mirrors lining this trail are now embedded in the ground itself, like stepping stones made of memory. Each one holds a single moment from your life, the first time you felt truly safe, a laugh shared with someone you loved and lost, the quiet resolve that got you through a day you didn't think you'd survive. As you step on each one, it lights briefly, then dims, acknowledged, honored, released. The air shifts as you walk. Warmer. Thicker. Filled with the scent of jasmine, aged wood, and something older still, like stories told in a language no one speaks aloud anymore. You come to a gate. Not grand. Not locked. Just there. Waiting. The mirror you carry glows faintly in your hand. You hold it up, and the gate answers. Not by opening, but by softening, as if remembering it was never meant to be a barrier. You step through. On the other side is a room. Not physical. Not imagined. It exists in the space between thought and sleep. A room made of memory and mist. And in its center, another mirror, this one the largest of all, stretching from ground to sky, rimmed in soft gold like a sunrise that never burns. It reflects nothing, and yet holds everything. You step toward it. And for the first time, you see all of you at once. Not like a crowd. Like a constellation. You stand before the towering mirror, the constellation of yourself glittering within it, not as stars in the sky, but as luminous fragments gently orbiting one another. Every version of you that has ever existed drifts there, not fixed, but flowing, the you who hoped, the you who feared, the one who forgave too soon, and the one who waited too long. They do not clash. They do not crowd. They simply shimmer, quietly aware of each other. It's not a timeline. It's a tenderness. And you, the now you, are at its center, not as a final form, but as a bridge. You feel no pressure to reconcile them. Only to recognize them. The mirror's surface begins to hum. Soft vibrations run down your spine and into your bones. You are being asked, not to decide, but to listen. To let the mirror speak in its own language. You place your palm against the glass, and the hum deepens into a warmth that wraps around you like sleep curling through the body at twilight. The world shifts. Not dramatically, but utterly. You are standing in a field now, though you don't remember moving. The mirror has vanished, yet you feel it inside you, like breath you didn't realize you were holding. The grass is tall and silvered, swaying though no wind touches it. The sky is twilight, not beginning, not ending. Just this moment, stretched and held. Before you lies a path marked with lanterns. They float above the ground, their glow gentle and pulsing like the rhythm of your heart. You walk slowly, each step muffled by moss-soft earth. The lanterns respond to your movement, drifting ahead, always just far enough to guide, never too far to reach. Along the path, you begin to hear things. Not sounds, exactly. reminders. The feel of your name whispered through water. The quiet yes of a decision you didn't know would shape your life. The slow exhale of being accepted. You reach a bend in the path. There, nestled among low trees, is a bench. You sit. Not from weariness, but from knowing this moment is meant to be received. Across from you is another version of yourself. Older, perhaps. Softer. Not aged by time, but by kindness. They smile, not at you, but with you. And together, you watch the twilight hold the sky without asking it to change. You and the other you sit in easy silence. No questions pass between you. No need for words. You understand each other in the way two tides might, always touching the same shore, always shaped by the same moon. The quiet between you is sacred, not empty. A space where time folds its wings and waits patiently nearby. After a while, they reach into the folds of their cloak, though you're not sure when they began wearing one, and draw out a small object wrapped in soft cloth. They offer it to you with hands that have known both gentleness and strength. You accept the bundle and unfold it. Inside is another mirror. But this one is different. It is cloudy and cracked, not broken, but worn. A mirror that has been used, trusted, wept into. You recognize it at once. It is the mirror you looked into once when you thought you had lost everything. The one that didn't show your reflection but still held space for your sorrow. It is not here to be discarded. It is here to be honored. You press your fingers gently to its fractured surface. The cracks glow faintly, like veins of gold running through a river of memory. They do not seek to be mended. They ask only to be seen. You place the mirror beside you on the bench, and the older you nods. Then, without a word, they stand and walk into the trees, disappearing as softly as a sigh. You do not feel abandoned. You feel gifted. The lanterns begin to stir again. You rise. The mirror stays on the bench, but you know it isn't gone. It has simply joined the story now carried inside you. The path curves once more, narrower this time, more intimate. The trees lean in like listeners. The lanterns dim slightly, allowing the glow from within you to begin lighting the way. Ahead, the path opens into a clearing unlike any before. In the center stands a mirror unlike any other. Not for its size or shape, but for its stillness. It does not shimmer. It does not hum. It waits. And as you step closer, you understand, this is the mirror that does not remember you. Because it is you who must remember it. You approach slowly, reverently, as though each step might stir the mirror into wakefulness. But it remains still, not cold, not indifferent, simply present. A silence so complete it doesn't ask for attention, only presence. The surface is neither glass nor metal, but something in between, like the skin of deep water beneath starlight. When you finally stand before it, you see nothing. No reflection. No flickers. No ghosts. Only stillness. But it draws you in nonetheless. You lift your hand, not to touch, but to hover, to feel. The air just above its surface hums faintly, not with sound, but sensation. As if it's listening. As if it's waiting. You close your eyes. And instead of seeing, you begin remembering. Moments come not as flashes, but as waves. The first time you felt safe in your own body. The ache of holding in tears that eventually found their way out. The quiet victory of trying again when no one was watching. Each memory doesn't replay, it settles, like snow, layering gently until you feel wrapped in yourself. Not your story. Not your survival. Just the pure hum of your being. When you open your eyes, the mirror has changed. Its surface still doesn't reflect your image, but it glows softly now, and you recognize the light. It's the same light you saw in the constellation mirror. The same glow carried by the tree, the lanterns, the other you on the bench. It's your name, again. But this time, it's not being shown to you. It's being returned. The mirror doesn't ask to be touched. It asks to be remembered. And so you do. You remember the strength you gave away so others could feel safe. You remember the softness you hid because the world mistook it for weakness. You remember how many times you chose to stay, to try, to begin again. And as you remember, the mirror brightens. Not blinding. Just enough to light the edges of the space around it, revealing the quiet truth of this place. It was never meant to define you. Only to return you to yourself. You step back. And the mirror stays aglow. A witness. A companion. A home. You leave the clearing slowly, not in haste, not with regret. The mirror does not call you back, nor does it vanish. It remains behind like a lighthouse on a still shore. There if ever you return, steady even in your absence. The path ahead is softer now. Less a path and more a suggestion, winding through dream-thick woods where the trees glow faintly from within. Their bark is silvered and smooth, and the leaves shimmer like glass dipped in moonlight. The hush here is deeper, more sacred. Even your breath feels quieter, shaped into gentler rhythms by the space around you. You realize that you're not being led anymore. You're choosing. The journey is no longer one of seeking but of listening, to the voice that hums just beneath your skin, to the knowing that lives in your bones. You carry no map, yet every step feels certain, even when uncertain. After some time, or none at all, you arrive at a bridge. It arcs over a body of water too dark to see through, too still to disturb. The bridge itself is made from mirrors, joined end to end, suspended as if by will alone. Each panel reflects a moment as you walk. Not behind you, not ahead, but sideways, alternate versions of choices, memories refracted through the lens of what if. You do not linger. The reflections do not tempt you. You cross. And on the other side is a meadow bathed in twilight. The grass glows faintly blue, and the sky above is shifting with slow clouds the color of pearl. At the far end, a figure waits, neither shadow nor light, but something in between. As you approach, you recognize them. It is you. But quieter. Younger in some ways, older in others. They wear no mask, carry no weight. They offer you a mirror, small and simple. This one is blank. And then they speak, not with a voice, but with presence. This one is for who you are becoming. You take it gently, understanding that it will remain empty until it is lived into. The figure smiles, not as a farewell, but as a blessing. And slowly, they fade, not away, but inward. You hold the final mirror in both hands. And from somewhere within you, a light stirs. The light is subtle at first, a glow in the hollow of your chest, pulsing in time with your breath. It spreads slowly, not as fire, but as warmth, the kind that finds you on a cold morning when the sun crests gently over the hills. It moves through your arms, into your hands, until the mirror you hold begins to shimmer faintly, not with images, but with potential. You stand quietly, holding that promise. The meadow breathes around you. The grass leans without wind. The twilight deepens but never darkens. Somewhere in the distance, a bell chimes once, low, round, like the sound a dream makes just before you wake. But you are not waking. You are arriving. A path unfurls at your feet, not drawn, not built, simply known. You follow it not out of curiosity, but trust. As you walk, the light within you brightens. The mirror grows warmer in your hands, as though it too is waking. With every step, you feel the story you've traveled settle deeper into you, not as memory, but as essence. The places, the mirrors, the figures, the silences, they're no longer separate. They are you. Woven now. The path leads you into a grove. At the center, a pool. Not like the others, this one is lit from below, glowing with soft pinks, golds, and blues that shift like sunrise held underwater. The surface is still. It does not ask for anything. You kneel. Not out of reverence, but readiness. You hold the blank mirror over the water, and it begins to draw light, not from the pool, not from the sky, but from you. Slowly, carefully, the mirror begins to fill, not with images, but with threads. Tiny, glimmering strands of all you are becoming. Possibility. Peace. Curiosity. Grace. The mirror is no longer blank. It doesn't show you a face, or a name, or a past. It shows only movement. Becoming. A gentle unfolding. You place the mirror into the pool, and it floats. For a long moment, everything is still. Then the pool begins to rise, not spilling, but lifting. The water shapes itself around the mirror, encasing it in a globe of light, which hovers gently above the surface. The light brightens. And then scatters, into stars. Not into the sky, but into you. Each one finds a place inside you, tucking into the hollow of your throat, the bend of your knees, the space between your ribs. You feel them settle like seeds. And you know, they will grow. You rise from the edge of the pool slowly, not out of weariness, but with the care of someone carrying something delicate and precious. The starlight now woven through you pulses softly, quiet, steady, as if syncing with the rhythm of the world around you. You are no longer watching the story. You are writing it, breath by breath. As you turn away, the grove does not vanish, but it recedes respectfully into the background of your awareness, like a teacher who knows the lesson has been learned. The path before you is open and golden, lit from within rather than above, leading you onward with a warmth that feels like home remembering you. As you walk, the air begins to shimmer with threads of color, gossamer strands that hang from invisible branches and hum like lullabies. Some of them brush against your skin, and you feel them offering small blessings: clarity, forgiveness, courage, sleep. Each thread is a gift, asking nothing in return. You gather one, without thinking. It curls around your wrist like a bracelet made of breath, cool and comforting. The path opens into a glade. Here, mirrors hang from the sky, suspended with no strings, swaying gently in an invisible breeze. They don't reflect. They refract, bending light and memory into impossible shapes. You step among them, and the world ripples gently in your wake. Each mirror offers a fragment. The soft sigh of someone you once loved and lost. The song you hummed to yourself when no one else was there. The strength in your spine the day you stood up quietly instead of shouting. None of them pull you back. They simply surround you like a quiet choir, bearing witness to the becoming that has always been yours. In the center of the glade is a final mirror. Small, plain, untouched. You step forward. This one, unlike the others, is meant to be touched. You lift your hand and press your palm to its surface. And it dissolves, not with sound, not with light, but with release. And suddenly, you are elsewhere. Not a place. A feeling. You are in the presence of everything that has ever been gentle. It doesn't speak. It doesn't need to. You understand, you are enough. The feeling envelopes you like dusk falling on still water, slow, complete, and almost imperceptible until you realize it's all around you. There is no room here for striving, no pulse of urgency. Only the deep, expansive quiet of being accepted exactly as you are. The world doesn't vanish. It softens. You find yourself standing in a space that feels both new and familiar. There are no edges. No walls. Only a gentle horizon that seems to breathe with you. The stars are closer now, not just above, but within reach, floating like quiet thoughts that have waited their whole lives to be heard. You raise a hand, and one drifts toward you. You don't need to grasp it. It understands. It drifts into your palm and dissolves, leaving behind a warmth and a knowing. You are not lost. You are simply unfolding. With that, more stars approach. Each one carrying a message you didn't know you needed. You were always enough. There is beauty in the pause. Not everything must be healed to be held. You are not too late. You are right on time. You gather them like petals, letting them settle into your skin. The more you receive, the lighter you feel, not as though you're leaving yourself, but finally arriving. A shape begins to form in the distance. Not a building. Not a person. A mirror. Enormous. Unmoving. But unlike the others, it does not glow. It absorbs. You walk toward it. And as you draw closer, you see nothing within it. No memory. No reflection. Only you, standing still. And suddenly, you realize, this mirror does not show who you were. It shows who you believe yourself to be. And right now, it waits for you to decide. You feel a quiet shift inside your chest. Not a revelation. A remembering. You step closer and whisper. Not with your mouth, but with your presence, I am allowed to rest. The mirror nods, not visibly, but in the way the wind agrees with trees. And its surface shimmers. The shimmer grows slowly, like the surface of a lake catching dawn for the very first time. The mirror doesn't change shape or glow with grandeur, it simply begins to receive. Not as a vessel, but as a witness. Your presence, your truth, the quiet breath you didn't know you were holding, all of it is reflected back to you without judgment, without distortion. You see yourself. Not as others see you. Not even as you've seen yourself. But as you are. Unfinished. Unfolding. Unapologetically enough. You exhale, and the mirror breathes with you. And in that shared breath, something shifts. The surface of the mirror ripples outward, not in water, but in memory. You see the mirrors from earlier, scattered throughout the journey, reappearing like stars lighting up a familiar constellation. Each one pulses softly. Each one holds a piece of you. Not to trap you, not to tether you, but to remind you. You watch as they begin to move, circling gently in the air, drawn together like threads returning to the loom. They orbit you now, not as burdens, but as belonging. Moments made whole. A soft sound rises in the distance, a hum, deep and slow, as if the world itself is singing a lullaby. It builds not in volume, but in presence, until the very air seems to hold you the way arms might. The mirror ahead begins to dissolve, not into nothingness, but into light. It does not vanish. It releases itself, like the final note of a song that has said all it came to say. And where it once stood, a doorway opens. Not framed in gold. Not rimmed in light. Just an opening. Soft. Inviting. You feel no urgency. Only readiness. You step through. And the world greets you, not as a stranger, but as someone long expected. You are no longer in a dreamscape of mirrors and paths. You are somewhere quieter. Deeper. More you. This new space feels like the pause between heartbeats, the breath before the word. It is not dark, but dim in the gentlest way, like twilight resting inside a thought. The ground is soft beneath your feet, though you're not sure if you're walking or simply drifting. There are no mirrors here. No reflections. Only feeling, pure and unadorned. You realize now that the mirrors were never meant to define you. They were a language. A way for your soul to speak without words. And now that you've heard it, now that you've listened, there's no longer a need to look outside yourself for the shape of your truth. You carry it. You are it. A quiet glow begins to rise from the ground around you, like memories blooming in reverse. With each step forward, you feel yourself becoming less burdened, not lighter because something has been lost, but because something has been woven in. This is not the end. This is the integration. In the distance, you begin to sense a presence. It is not someone. It is not something. It is the part of you that always remained, a still point in the turning, untouched by all the noise of the world. The you that watched quietly when everything else was loud. The you who never left, even when you did. You walk toward it. And though there is no form, no sound, you feel embraced. Not held in arms. Held in knowing. And suddenly you understand, you are not returning from a dream. You are awakening into yourself. The hush that surrounds you deepens, not with silence, but with peace. You sit, not because you are tired, but because you are ready to receive. And in that moment, the space around you breathes. The air itself carries a lullaby that has no words, just warmth, rhythm, and a memory of every gentle thing you've ever needed. You close your eyes. Not to leave, but to arrive more fully. With your eyes closed, the world opens. Not into visions or landscapes, but into feeling. A deep, expansive quiet that fills you without crowding, like the gentle weight of a blanket on a cold morning. You drift in this space, not outward, but inward, through layers of memory, softness, and stillness, each one folding around you like petals returning to the bud. You are not asleep. You are not awake. You are held. And in that holding, something ancient stirs, not in fear or urgency, but in recognition. The version of you that waited quietly beneath all the noise, the one who was never afraid of softness, rises with you. Together, you breathe. And the breath is enough. When you open your eyes, you are in a new space, familiar and foreign all at once. The sky above is painted in tones that don't exist in the waking world, hushed ambers, silken grays, and deep, forgiving blues. A slow-moving river winds nearby, its surface glassy and undisturbed. It doesn't reflect the sky. It reflects possibility. You step toward it, and the air hums gently in approval. At the water's edge, there's no need for ritual or command. You simply kneel and look in. And what you see is not your face. It's your story, woven from threads of stardust, sorrow, song, and silence. Moments you lived. Moments you carried. Moments you became. They do not overwhelm you. They do not ache. They glow. You reach into the river and lift a small ripple in your hands. It becomes a mirror, soft and shifting like a dream still forming. It doesn't ask for answers. It asks for presence. You press it gently to your chest. And it melts into your skin. From somewhere within, a bell chimes. Soft. Steady. Welcoming. You rise. Not renewed. Remembered. You walk along the edge of the river, its steady murmur matching the rhythm of your breath. The world feels quieter now, not because it has grown still, but because you have learned how to listen. Every rustle in the grass, every subtle shimmer in the air feels like a secret spoken only to you. And yet, nothing asks to be solved. Only seen. The path becomes softer, blending into the land like a memory being folded gently into a dream. In the distance, a grove comes into view, tall, pale trees surrounding an open space lit by a soft glow with no visible source. You step into the clearing, and there in the center is one last mirror. It is different. It doesn't float or shimmer. It rests on the earth, partially embedded, like something ancient and long forgotten. You approach. It's small, no larger than your palm, and smoothed by time, its edges rounded like river stones. Its surface reflects nothing at first. Then, slowly, it begins to gather light. Not from the sky. Not from the ground. From you. As the light swells, the mirror reveals no images, no memories, no names. Only a question: are you ready to lead gently? You feel no fear, no rush. You kneel beside it, pressing your fingers to the cool surface. The world softens further, the light growing more diffuse, like fog and candlelight woven together. The trees bend slightly inward, as if to shield this moment from everything that came before. And within that sacred hush, you answer. Not with words. With rest. The mirror accepts. And disappears. Not into nothingness. Into you. All the mirrors, all the paths, all the versions, they were never separate. They were always home. And now, that home breathes with you. You stand. And as you turn, the world awaits, not as a place to fix or flee, but as a space to return to. With softness. With stillness. With your name stitched quietly into every breath. You begin the slow walk back, not retracing steps, but moving forward in a circle that knows no beginning or end. The path beneath your feet hums softly, not guiding, simply echoing your rhythm. Each step feels like it sinks a little deeper into the earth, anchoring you not to a place, but to yourself. The air is warmer now, filled with the scent of something like honeysuckle and rain-soaked stone. The sky has shifted too, no longer twilight, not quite dawn. It's the color of breath held between dreams. As you walk, you realize you no longer need the mirrors. Because now, you are one. Not a surface to reflect others, but a presence that remembers, softly, honestly, fully. You come upon a small hill rising gently from the landscape. At its top is a chair made of woven branches and twilight, facing a vast horizon of nothing and everything. You sit. And you listen. There is no sound. And yet, everything speaks. The trees whisper your steadiness. The earth cradles your softness. The breeze, faint and slow, hums your name like it's always known how to say it. You close your eyes again. Not to forget, but to feel. To let all the mirrors you've carried settle into stillness. And in that stillness, you begin to glow. Not outwardly. Within. From behind your closed eyes, light rises gently. It is not bright, not blinding. It is like the hush of snow in moonlight. A knowing. A resting. You are not arriving. You are not departing. You are here. Fully. Completely. Enough. A bell chimes once more in the distance, not calling you, but honoring you. You breathe in. And the world, now quiet and whole, breathes with you. Time stretches thin and soft around you, like silk caught on wind. You rest on the hill, surrounded by stillness so deep it feels like being held in a lullaby that never ends. There is no pressure to move, to think, to become. You are simply allowed to be, without expectation, without shape. The stars above begin to shift, slow, fluid, as if the sky itself is dreaming. And within that drift, you see echoes of every mirror that ever held you. Not sharp images. Not reflections. Just the soft glow of memory, woven now into constellations you carry in your chest. The hill, the chair, the air around you begins to melt, not into darkness, but into calm. You feel your body dissolve into comfort. Your breath lengthen. Your pulse slow. Your thoughts stretch thin and wide like mist uncoiling at dawn. A voice, not spoken, not heard, but felt, whispers one final truth: you are not the sum of what has happened to you. You are the space that holds it. And in that moment, everything settles. The light in your chest dims to a steady ember. The sky folds around you like a curtain drawn lovingly at the end of a play. There is no ending. Only quiet. Only softness. Only this infinite breath, curled gently in the shape of rest. And you, glowing quietly in the place where the mirror always knew your name.